Voices for the voiceless. Yeah. Yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak truth to power and injustice. MJ said they don't really care about us. Forget the media and everything they say about us. They fed us lies and propaganda just to pacify us. We here to set the record straight and bring the culture balance. Too often the narrative one-sided, and way too often society closed-minded. Gotta see between the lines, look beyond the surface. Dig deep within yourself, recognize your purpose. Mass media manipulation, what we facing. Telling lies to our vision on these news stations. We need a platform where truth is not compromised. Voices for the voiceless, I say the name with pride. The revolution televised when we going live. Hit that bell button, like, share, and subscribe. The revolution televised when we going live. Hit that bell button, like, share, and subscribe. Voices for the voiceless. Voices for the voiceless. Voices for the voiceless. Okay. Voices for the voiceless.
All right. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless, and I'm back. And we just gonna get straight to it, man. Hope everybody enjoying their evening and night. But this was some bombshell information that I had to come by and speak on because, man, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. And as the title says, Officer Tatum drops bombshell information in the Nolan Wells case. Now we've been covering the case of Nolan Wells quite extensively lately. You know what I'm saying? And the main reason why I like to cover this case is because it speaks volumes on so many different levels as far as where we are in this country as it pertains to racism. They have people out here formulating false narratives to pitch a racial issue on a situation that has absolutely nothing to do with racism between this tragic situation. Nolan Wells was a young black boy hanging out, grew up around majority white people. So majority of his friends were white. But they also had Hispanic and Latino friends. And, you know, these boys are living the dream that Martin Luther King had. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, you know, when this tragic situation happened, people want to make it about racism. Or they try to compare this to Emmett Till. That's a slap in the face to the legacy of Emmett Till and his family. This has nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. This was a situation where a young man went to an island with his friends. And from my vantage point, I allege got too drunk. And what Officer Tatum is about to expose is something that I didn't want to speak on, but allegedly there were drugs involved, hard drugs. So before we get into that, and shout out to Officer Tatum. He got the juice in this situation. He went down there and talked to them boys and got interviews with the people in the area of Mississippi that they from. But yeah, I want to share this here. Copyright disclosure, because we are fair use. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, nonprofit, educational, or personal use. Tips the balance in favor of fair use. Hopefully, Officer Tatum won't strike my channel, but I did want to put that there just in case. So without further ado, I want to get off into this video, this bombshell information that Officer Tatum has just went live not too long ago and had on his channel. So let's get into this. A lot of breaking information here. All of this is allegedly, by the way, but to me, it makes all the sense in the world. So shout out to Officer Tatum. He got the juice in this situation. He got the information so far. So let's get to it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Officer Tatum Show. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to focus on new updates in the Nolan Wells case, and I have some things that I have to tell you guys that you're not going to hear anything else. People are leaking this information to me, and you need to listen to this. It's gonna break the internet, to be quite honest, as some of the stuff that I got to tell you. We're going to talk about Nancy Grace and what she said. Judge Mathis, brother, we need to talk. And before we get to any of that, we're going to address the things that I just heard. People have reached out to me about something really concerning related to Nolan Wells and who may have seen him last before he passed away. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose.
Kind of want to skip through all the intro.
Most people have no idea they can get ready to post content the minute they stop recording with Riverside. So I opened the...
So you can have a perspective, because when the autopsy comes out, or at least the toxicology results comes out, it's going to prove whether or not people are saying things to me that are not true, or the sources that I believe are verified are accurate. Before we get to that, I need to follow up and dispel this mythical phone call, because I think people are still pushing this. And I've been telling you guys from the very beginning that I think that they're pushing people in the wrong direction. When you get information that leads you to believe that this group of people had nothing to do with it, you need to move on and look at other leads.
What he about to talk about is this phone call when the boat was sinking, that the kids were, calling the tow company to come get towed. Now, quite naturally, in the phone call, it was some, the kids on the boat, and they freaking out because they sinking. But but people are framing this false narrative as if they said, like, Nolan on the boat, and they like, oh, he's dead. Oh, wake up. What the F, wake up. And Nolan wasn't even on the boat. And Brandon Tatum is about to dispel that. I mean, you really actually had people come up with a timestamp of what was said during this phone call. And it's all false. Some of the stuff he said, but it was nothing pertaining to Nolan. And see, this is what I'm saying. We have a sickness going on in this country right now where it's almost that people are wanting racism. You know what I'm saying? They want this situation to be some type of racism. They want the friends to be guilty of unaliving their friend. It's sickening that you would even have to make up a false narrative like this.
And I feel like in this case, people are so hell-bent on making it about race and making it specifically about these white boys like low-hanging fruit because they reported he was missing. They seen him on the day of the thing. Y'all just jumping into conclusions, making it about them. And with the information that I got today, and I really been holding some of it for the last several days, I just needed to verify a few things, that people should have been going in another direction instead of wasting time with these boys that I had already been vindicated. Let's go to the tow call, and this is on Nancy Grace's show. And hopefully I get an opportunity to talk to Nancy Grace about this, because I just feel like you have to be very mindful in doing due diligence before you put these things out on the internet, given the fact of the confusion that it could cause. Just real quick, this is why I don't believe that. I think people are hearing what they want to hear and not what is said. Either this is doctored, or people are hearing things that they want to hear and not what's said. Because there is verifiable proof from people that spoke to me and also law enforcement that people had seen Nolan after this call had occurred and after the boys had left already. So that creates an impossibility that someone can be talking about Nolan being dead if he's seen alive after this. And I'm
Exactly. See, the thing is, people want the boys to be interrogated, arrested. They like, oh, if it was the other way around, if it was all black boys, if the police know and they're still investigating that the time doesn't match up, that the kids left around 4:30 and Nolan stayed back, and they could confirm that with other eyewitnesses that were there, then that exonerates them from anything that may have happened. It may have been foul play, but we wasted so much time focusing on people that couldn't have done anything because they were long gone hours before he was last seen. So it defies logic to want to implicate people that weren't even present at the moment. And the police have TMZ came out and confirmed that, he was sighted on the island after the boys left. So this taken away from people that possibly could have very well much have done something to Nolan, or he could have, whatever happened, they weren't there for it, basically. And that's confirmed.
I'm being told, and some of the things that I've seen is that people have seen him alive right before 6 p.m., which is over an hour after this happened. All right, let's get to the clip, and we're going to further dispel this with TMZ's reporting as well. Roll it.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What?
All right, pause. I'm going to get to Nancy Grace here in a second, but I want you guys to go back and I want you to take another listen. Now, I want you to frame this within the context that clearly Nolan is still alive during this period. So let's remove Nolan from this context. Let's play it within the context of them mentioning things on the boat being either dead or whatever the case may be. Put this in the context of they're on a boat, they're about to sink, the bilge port or whatever it's called is not working, dead, damaged, they're concerned. Put that in your mind as you listen to this and tell me if you hear something different than Nolan, is he dead, and all of that stuff. Roll it.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What did we just hear? What was that? Straight out to investigative reporter Crime Stories, Dave Mack. Did you just hear what I heard? Now,
all right, let me move on from this because she's going to interview another guy, and I'm running out of time. I gotta get through this. You guys can watch that on. Just go to her channel. You can see what her interview was. Now, I'm trying to help us not get too caught up and and people look like fools. So now go to the TMZ article real quick, the TMZ presentation.
With Base 44, a simple sentence becomes your website.
TMZ played this, all of the above. Y'all were DMing me to death about this on TMZ. Let me just read this real quick from what TMZ said. Evidence appears to show Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island when his friend's boats left. TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge of the investigation claim authorities have evidence of Nolan being on the Mississippi Barrier Island. Let's see, after the boat departed on the 4th of July, which will be a huge development. We're told that at least 2 witnesses who were interviewed by law enforcement say that they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. That's significant for many reasons. Now, what do you guys got to say about this? TMZ, who put it out, reiterated that there's people that are saying they saw Nolan afterwards. It continues. TMZ enhanced the audio of Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking, and people believe you can hear someone saying, "Is he dead?" But our sources tell us people on the boat have heard the enhanced audio and are telling people around them the audio is only panic from a boat sinking. If you put that in context, you can see exactly what's going on. Now, let's move on because I was given this video. And here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat whatsoever? Now, I did this so we can get context. Now, the nut job lunatics that want to believe what they want to believe, don't worry about them. I'm talking to those of us who really care about getting to the bottom of this. And just hold. Hold on with me because we got to get to the new stuff that I just heard before we run out of time. So that's a video of that. Now let me present something else to you because this is a video of what it looked like. And Nolan is in this video. We'll put the video up. Nolan is in this video. Put it on the screen. Pause it right here. So this was sent to us as well. I'm sure this video is circulating anyway. If you look at the boy in the blue shorts, right where his butt is at, you move over at the edge of the boat in his butt, and that's actually Nolan standing in the water right there. I'm going to have the team play the video and pan it so you can see what environment they were in similarly when the boat began to sink. Roll the clip. Pause. Do you guys see how many people are out there? Play it again. Do you guys see how many boats are out there? So this is where the boat is at when they begin to become distressed. Right in this area. As you can see how close they are to the land. You can see where the coordinates were at. Right there. So when they're taking in water, when their boat is beginning to sink because it's anchored, it's happening right there. So for somebody to believe that this dispatch call is a desperate call with Nolan laying dead in the middle of their boat, that does not make sense. And to think that nobody saw it when they're entangled within all these people, I think is a disservice. We need to get to the information that I heard.
Now see, that's very pivotal because people are running around with a false narrative that Nolan was on the boat already deceased. For one, you got way too many people around. For two, who would be dumb enough to make a phone call trying to hide a dead body? Okay? But for some reason, people just want these boys to be implicated. Why? They want it to be about racism. They have a thirst for that. This whole situation is quite sickening. With no evidence that these boys did anything. See, for me, I just hate when people are falsely accused. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what color they is. I don't like people being falsely accused, especially people when someone loses their life. And also, it clouds the investigation. See, now when you try to implicate people based off race, you basically cut off half of the community that probably would try to help figure out what happened to Nolan. But now that you got Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and the NAACP and all these people running around, they like, man, I don't even want to touch that. So this is really serious.
We'll get to Miss Rachel and her silly self. And Judge Mathis. We'll get to Judge Mathis. But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that there is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved.
Wow. Now, see, you got to put this in context. They left Shore around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. So according to the boys on the other interview, they had been drinking the whole time. They probably were drinking before they even left Shore. So you drinking all day. Probably ain't even drinking water. And then now allegedly cocaine. So from 10 o'clock, possibly even earlier than 10 o'clock in the morning, you drinking in the heat. And then you add cocaine in the mix, allegedly. Nolan was indulging in cocaine, allegedly. Anything could have happened at that point. If you drinking like that, and it's all the way into the evening, I'm pretty sure they didn't eat nothing. That boy probably fell asleep in the water. Who knows, right? But let's get to some more of this information that people have been sending Officer Tatum.
And there's a particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first. and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150% sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in his system. Now, again, taking into consideration, this is somebody telling me this. I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying it. I'm not able to verify it. But from the sources that I'm getting it from has been consistent, verifiable sources thus far, and hadn't been wrong about nothing. So there's a possibility that there's a person that Nolan may have been around or interacted with that is giving cocaine to people on this island, that Nolan may have taken the cocaine. And then also, I received a DM.
The biggest difference between homeowners and renters is one big thing, and that is net worth. Come check it out. The average renter.
From someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6, right around 6 or a little bit before 6 p.m. Now, according to the autopsy, which I interviewed a medical examiner about this, there is no evidence of blunt force trauma or an evidence that Nolan got into a physical altercation. So I'm putting all this stuff together, what people are sending me and all that, and I'm trying to find a neutral point to share with you.
So basically, the boys left, Nolan stayed. Now, where does the girl fit in all of this, right? That's why I said earlier in my video, I wish that they could interview the girl, but he's going to touch on the whole situation with the girl too. Like, they were in the water and they was, becoming kind of intimate. But at this point, there's somebody else that introduced cocaine to Nolan. Somebody else saying that they know for 100% fact, allegedly, that he took the cocaine and used it. Then also you have a situation where Nolan has gotten into an argument or altercation with somebody, although they didn't see a physical fight, they just saw words being exchanged. And somebody DM'd that person and said, me and my husband saw what you did, you going to jail. See, right now, a lot of people are talking. A lot of people are talking in Mississippi about this situation, and they behind the scenes, somebody knows something, but those friends of his, they don't have nothing to do with this. The ones that are being implicated on social media and being dragged through the mud, they have been confirmed that they were gone when all of this was taking place.
what I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned. It could be. That could have happened. But I'm more convinced now than ever based on what people have been telling me and DMs that I've been seeing, people that have been verified sources, that has to be something with this cocaine. There has to be something with Nolan and a girl. And there has to be something with Nolan potentially being in either altercation with somebody, which would lead me to believe that that person saw Nolan last. And that this other person that's giving people cocaine. So this person giving people cocaine, a girl, Nolan, and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated.
Exactly.
And I can say more, but I'm trying not to get anything messed up in this case because I want justice for Nolan, and I want the boys that weren't involved in this to not get caught up in stupidity. So just so you guys know, I know the names of the cocaine person. I believe I know who the girl is. And I know the name of the person that may have been in the argument with Nolan. And there's nothing conclusive that anybody's telling me where there was violence that occurred. But that does not mean that the violence is ruled out.
Now, this is why I listen to Officer Tatum in this situation. Because he's doing what Ben Crump and them should have been doing. He went down there and got in the community and actually talked to the people. So much so that they are reaching out to him, giving him information, and he's able to put it together. But like I said in my video earlier, why hasn't Ben Crump, supposed to be out here looking for answers, running with this racial narrative, implicating these boys with accusation, but Officer Tatum went down there, touched the ground, touched the soil, and is able to come up with more information than paid attorneys are? Are they really trying to find the truth, or are they just trying to grift on some fake racism narrative for money?
That does not mean that something could have happened in the water. Another report came to me of someone saying that they saw Nolan with a girl, being intimate in the water to the point where it caught their attention. And they believe that they saw Nolan and this girl struggling in the water, not necessarily drowning, but struggling. Like it was obvious enough that the person was concerned when they saw Nolan in the water and he was with this girl. And that the person explicitly said that they were being intimate, which I don't know what that means as far as just kissing, hugging, cuddling, or something else. But that's what has been told to me. And these sources I think, have been legitimized. But what they're saying, I haven't been able to verify. This is just someone saying this, and I'm telling you what I'm hearing. So when the toxicology come back, if there's cocaine in the system, to me, that will validate that these people that have been telling me this are being accurate. And like I said, somebody really close to Nolan made mention that they're almost 100% sure that he may have been partaking in the use of cocaine. And it's unfortunate. I've been knowing this, at least that part, for a while now, but I didn't want to put his name out there like that, given the fact that he just lost his life. But now that we're getting more information, the investigation is going further along, I'm just putting it out there. And we shall see if what is being told is accurate. But I'll finish it with this. I'm leaning more towards believing that somebody directly saw Nolan and know how Nolan died.
I agree. But it wasn't who we were told it was. Somebody knows something. And I believe that whoever allegedly gave him that cocaine probably was using it with him. And, you know, with all this stuff going on with these drugs, and that's why I say I think this opened up, we missing the mark with the real conversation here. The real conversation should center around underage kids indulging in drugs and alcohol in dangerous environments. This Horn Island situation, that's very dangerous in the middle of the sea. And, you know, these kids, I mean, they so comfortable drinking. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was 18, 19 years old, yeah, we was drinking too, but we was trying to hide it because we knew we was too young. We wasn't just taking pictures with alcohol. These kids, they let you know that they getting towed up down there in Mississippi. And I think that that's the broader conversation that needs to be had. So this doesn't happen anymore. It don't have nothing to do with skin color. Kids of all races, you know, indulge in this type of activity. And that's what we need to be trying to have a conversation about. And the fact that Officer Tatum, and this is what I've been meaning to touch on, I keep forgetting, is that Officer Tatum is getting death threats just because he's trying to get to the truth. To me, he's one of the only few people that are trying to get both sides of the story. But he's being called a coon by the black community for trying to get the other side of the story, to get down to the bottom of it. If something happened to Nolan, if something nefarious, if somebody did something to him, I would say Officer Tatum is one of the few that are really trying to get to the bottom of this.
That's my take on it. I don't think he was just drowning out there messing around. I think that somebody know more than what they're saying. And I don't think it's a lot of people. I think it's a few people that were last on the island with Nolan that know what happened, that seen what happened, or may have knowledge of something that will lead police in the right direction to find out exactly what happened. And I am encouraging you. I know some of y'all names. If it's you, you need to do the right thing. You need to go to authorities. And if you're there and you had nothing to do with it, you definitely need to go to authorities and clear your name. I'll say this: some of these people may have already gone to authorities. I don't know. The authorities won't tell me who they interviewed. So we'll go to that next step when it comes. I want to address Judge Mathis real quick. I got about 9 minutes.
Okay, so we can stop that right there. If you want to see the full interview, by all means, you could go over there to Officer Tatum's channel and view the whole thing. I just wanted to get those new developments out here and put it on the forefront. But yeah, man, this situation is really unfolding. And like Officer Tatum said, I truly believe someone knows something. And now when the toxicology test comes back, if they're able to prove that Nolan had cocaine in his system, to me, that's an open and shut case. Now, did somebody do something to him? You know, I think we're going to get to the bottom of it, but I think that people are more willing to come forward when you get rid of this fake racist narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because majority of this community, they not finna be a part of that. But I believe that the community do want to know what happened to him. But you ostracize a lot of people when you do that. You know what I'm saying? And make it about something that is not. This is a very serious situation, and I just hate that the family took this route. But yeah, man, it's your boy Jay Taylor. Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. Prayers up for the family and the community of Nolan Wells. And we are going to stay on top of this situation because we're going to kill fake narratives over here on Voices for the Voiceless. Peace and blessings, everybody. And have a great night. Talk to you soon.